Let's get into it, baby.
Ah yeah, it's time to travel and bang, baby.
This is Travel Bang. I am the one and only Marky Bravo the Mulatto. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. I'm back again. This video we're going to dedicate to someone I sincerely think has just changed and touched the lives of so many young men out there. Not just black men, but all men in general, okay? The one and only man I'm talking about is Kevin Samuels. Fortunately, his career, right when he was starting to blow up online, was very short-lived, and it's sad. But you know, you hear all sorts of conspiracy theories. Maybe he popped a muscle relaxer pill that one of his girlfriends gave him, and it had fentanyl in it, causing him, you know, to get into a state of cardiac arrest. Or maybe I've heard stories where he might have got one of those generic boner Viagra pills from a gas station and also caused a chain reaction. As we all know, he was an avid user, avid drinker, if you will, of high fructose corn syrup energy drinks, okay? Especially the one with the bull in the name, that one. I mean, every video you saw, he was guzzling it down, you know what I mean? But hey, we all have our vices. We all, you know, we all have what we need to give us a pick-me-up. But the man just changed so many lives, okay? And I think the reason why people disliked him so much is if you take a closer look at him, okay? He was the full definition of being a part of the bourgeois Negro society, okay? The bourgeois Negro society, what do I mean by that? I mean, if you look into history, this happens to be a Black History Month as well. You know, you check out the W.E.B. Du Bois and read about Booker T. Washington, Thurgood Marshall, all these men where, in essence, they were considered to be a part of the bourgeois Negro society. Higher educated, intellectual, philosophers, men who just pushed the narrative of, at that time, especially in those times, of what an African-American man can achieve, and just pushing it to the limits, you know. And they were all part of fraternities, whether it's the Greek letter fraternities. A lot of them were Prince Hall Freemasons, which is also a indication back then and now of being a part of a gentleman's club, of being a part of the bourgeois society. Just meaning you're a man, a person of higher standards. You hold yourself to even the way you dress, you know what I mean, is going into the GQ arena, gentlemen quarterly, you know what I mean? Whereas now, if you look in society, for the longest time, and it's changing, and that's why I'm bringing up Kevin Samuels. In society, especially within the black community, they've been focusing a lot on thug life, you know what I mean? The African-American bad boy, the G, you know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. But I think with Kevin Samuels, when he came out, he brought that back. That, hey, you know, that's all fine and dandy, you know what I mean, being ghetto fabulous and all that, but, you know, he wanted to bring standards back. He wanted to annihilate women's, you know, false preconceptions, being in denial, you know what I mean, about who they are, and setting the message straight that, no, we have to have standards. He wasn't there to belittle women or, you know what I mean, even calling men out for being half-assed. He was there to bring the standards, the level back up. You know what I mean? To be like, hey, if you want to attract an extraordinary person in your life, if a woman wants an extraordinary man, she needs to be extraordinary. You can't be 5'3" kids, unemployed, 5'4" and weigh 180, 200 or 200 pounds at that height. There's a certain standard. You know what I mean? Can't go around considering yourself to be you know, of the looks of a supermodel, when the reality is you're barely cutting average. The reality is you're challenged in the looks department, as he once said. You understand? I mean, for men, it was very vital that they were watching Kevin Samuels, because he was something to emulate. He was something to say, okay, this is a man worth mimicking. You know what I mean? Not just his cross, go-getter, you know, coming down with the iron hammer, on women who are ego tripping for the wrong reasons, barely average women. No. He was coming across like, look, as I said, this is the standard, and he gave the protocol, gentlemen. Listen, I still use it. Every man out there should use it. That when you look for a woman to date, be in a relationship with, whatever, how you want to define it, she needs to be fit, fun, friendly, cooperative, submissive, and ready to go. Write it down, gentlemen. Fit, fun, friendly, cooperative, submissive, and ready to go. He gave you the format. He gave you the blueprint. He gave you the formula. And then when you go down that list with the women that you date, when you're trying to find a woman who you can make your main partner, you know what I mean, your girlfriend, or if you want to take it there into a life partner, you know, i.e. turn her into wifey. I mean, you go down that list and boom, he gave you the format. He gave you the formula right there. Because if you don't know the formula, okay, gentlemen, if you don't know the formula, that's when you go into things blind. You go into relationships blind, and just like today, I went to IKEA, I had to do some furniture shopping, and it's all around you. Subpar, miserable, frumpy men married to, you know what I mean, subpar, frumpy wives, multiple kids. You can look at the man sitting with them, you know, as his wife and his kids at the table. They look like an empty shell of what they used to be. You know what I mean? It's like they're not even consciously there. You know what I mean? They're just on autopilot. Their life has no passion. It has no meaning. You know what I mean? I mean, this is not who you want to be. And even if you're watching this and that's where you are, it's never too late. You could put in reverse. I know so many guys in my friendship circle who are married and they're just not into it. They're not into the woman that they're with. But they choose to stay in there because it's a comfort zone. And you know what? Comfort zone is where you go to die. Okay? Not physically, but spiritually and psychologically. The comfort zone is where you will die. Okay? So you want to break out of the comfort zone. And once you feel yourself slipping on your pimping, that's what I call it, slipping on your pimping, you know, to be able, just like as Kevin Samuels instructed, to go back out there, reinvent yourself, you know what I mean? Psychologically, you know what I mean? By reading, becoming more astute, more educated, more intellectual, being more informed about your surroundings, to go out and to reinvent yourself through fashion, to make yourself, you know what I mean, not like all the other men. And I think that's why I think the main focus on Kevin Samuels as a teacher, as a mentor for so many men out there was so vital. So how does this cross over to dating? His teachings do merge with what has been brought up by statistical, analytical breakdowns of that the majority of women, okay, in today's world, 80% of women don't find 80% of the men to be dateable, okay? That means they only are looking for the 20%, okay? And vice versa, when you look at the men don't feel that way. It's the men that are putting, you know what I mean, their standards, they're pushing them down low. You know what I mean? And that's what learning from Kevin Samuels not to do that, okay? Doesn't mean to be super, super picky, you know, be snobby. Don't be that guy either. I mean, I used to be, when I was younger, I used to have outlandish standards for women to touch. And it's just, why? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder now. You know what I mean? It is. So go for what you're into. Go for what turns you on. But at the same time, if it doesn't turn you on, don't lower the standards. Don't get with a woman that doesn't have the type of, you know, she's out of shape and looks, you know, frumpy, one Snickers bar away from being a fat girl. Don't get with the woman that, you know what I mean, you're just not feeling. If not physically, you know, personality-wise, the persona is off. Or, you know, the opposite end is getting with a woman who does turn you on. She is, you know, gorgeous. She is a hot girl, but she has a horrible, horrible value system, a horrible, just the way her personality is, dumber than a bag of rocks. She has nothing going on upstairs, flakes on dates, waits 2 to 3 days before she responds to your text message. You know, there's men who put up with this type of stuff, and the women do it because they know they're allowed to get away with it. You know what I mean? And that's, you understand? And then there's also, okay, there's the extreme, that toxicity that's out there. But then there's just human human nature. That, of course, if you put yourself out there to be a weasel, spineless little weasel kiss up, women will usually treat you like garbage. Or best case scenario, they're just not feeling it and they'll brush you off. You understand? And that's why you have to show a spinal column. You have to show you have a value system and you're willing to call women out on their BS. You know what I mean? And that is, in essence, what all the pickup artists through the years have been teaching through what's called a shite test, okay? Shite test is just basically psychologically the software running in a woman's head that goes, is he an alpha male? Let me check. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, woman does or says something out of the ordinary that's just borderline disrespectful or out there, you know what I mean? And then it's the check. Because you're supposed to, it's a shite test. You're supposed to pass it. So you come back and you say, hey, no, I don't think so. That's not going down like this, sweetheart. And then you pass it, and then the woman's like, oh, good, he has a spinal column. Most men don't pass that. And these are the things, these are the things that you can learn through watching Kevin Samuels and what he teaches, what you can learn from the old material, from Real Social Dynamics with Owen Cook, you know, all the way from Zepar Debazar. I hope I'm saying his name right. You know, different teachers out there that brought the format, brought the blueprint for men, that laid it down for men to read, to study, to watch, and to just, you know, you take little increments here and there. You're not going to be just mimicking somebody, because that's not what you want. Because eventually you have to take the training wheels off. Eventually you have to embrace, as the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece had said, know thyself. To know thyself, know what you can take, you can apply, you know what I mean? You can take it, install it into the hard drive up here, and then it becomes an amalgamation. It just kind of merges with who you are. You know what I mean? But that's how we always said that in the beginning, that's why we have mentors. Talking about Kevin Samuels as a mentor, and all the other teachers I mentioned are mentors. So you can, at first, if you want to use that terminology, you can mimic it, apply it, and then you can take the training wheels off and it just becomes autopilot. It's just a part of who you are, because that's the worst thing. We always said what's going on, you know, what's being taught is just be yourself. And the question is which self? Because as we said, you're a different self for different people. Who you are around your parents is different when you're intimate in a romantic setting with your girl. Who you are with your employer, your boss, is different than, you know what I mean, who you are when you get pulled over by the police. You know what I mean? You have different versions of yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why they say, in the famous words of Oscar Wilde, life is a theater. You know what I mean? It's all about the actor, and what role you play on life's theater. You know what I mean? And to make sure, if you take that as an advice, that you don't just end up a stage prop on the theater of life, or end up on somebody else's stage, you know what I mean? And you just get lost in the background. That also is why they have a frame control. We've learned this in many other videos, and I'll go into it deeper in other videos. Frame control. Learn to control the frame. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean overpower conversations and go, no, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. No, but your frame is like your movie. You're the star of your movie. And women want to enter your frame. Women are attracted to men who they can enter the frame and they can be on autopilot and then be a part of your movie. Okay? But for you to do that, you have to control the frame. You have to, you know, bring the woman in to your proverbial movie and show her how awesome the movie is, i.e. your life. Okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, but the movie has to entice. It has to be interesting. There has to be some drama. There has to be some action. You know what I mean? It has to be some adult cinema scenes that just rock her socks off. So she can do double monkey backflips with you. So she can ride the rodeo, you know, with you and walk away satisfied, feeling like, oh my God, who is this guy? She's thinking, and where has he been all my life? That's the type of man you got to be. And this is why we go through having the proper mentors. These are mentors. Back in the day, you had to pay a mentor face to face to get this knowledge. That's what's great about this. You can watch this video, you can watch other videos, and like I said, you can take it all in and then apply it. Okay, gentlemen, let's celebrate the life of Kevin Samuels. Go online, YouTube, even Instagram. Go to his accounts. Show his family some respect and love. Show yourself some respect and love, and watch his material. Don't just view it as entertainment. It is fun, you know, seeing someone come down with a proverbial sledgehammer to women who are deeply in denial, who are overestimating their sexual market value. But it's just fun to watch and learn and apply, and to reinvent yourself. That's what he symbolizes, the reinvention. The phoenix, the rebirth of the phoenix, the reinvention of who you are. It's an evolution process, gentlemen. It's never ending. That's what Kevin Samuels was trying to teach. It's an evolution process that is never ending. Once you go to the comfort zone, you're like every other bland, mediocre jabroni out there, and you'll just become a train wreck. Eventually, you'll just become another has-been, another imposter, but people consider you a fraud when you do try to step up to the plate, and you just become a has-been. You know what I mean? Don't go there. Gentlemen, this is a beautiful month. Let's celebrate his life, his teachings, and reinvent yourself. You don't have to stay who you were last week, last year. Learn how that life is an evolution. It's a journey. It's not a destination. And if you see things in your frame, in your movie that don't fit in, get rid of it, because life is too short. It's long, but it's too short to be entertaining things that do not serve you. Till next time, asombroso.